And today we're going to be talking about Wandavision, episode 7.
That's 8 fingers.
Hey everybody, welcome to Twin Talk. We are your hosts, Chris Hart,
Kevin Hart.
And today we're going to be talking about Wandavision, episode 7.
Right away, the episode's titled Breaking the Fourth Wall. My immediate thoughts were Deadpool. This is it. We're getting Deadpool because we know that in entertainment, breaking the fourth wall means talking to the camera, getting away from the story. And so he's known for that, kind of like a Ferris Bueller type vibe. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool if they kind of introduced him somehow, since we know that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool with the whole Fox X-Men merge, he'll be coming into the MCU. I was wondering if this is the way they're going to do it. But same thing with the X-Men. It just seems like this is not the avenue where they're going to come into the MCU right away.
Yeah, that would have been epic if Deadpool just showed up and they just start like bleeping him out and stuff, like doing like those like pixelated things over his like inappropriate remarks and stuff, living in the WandaVision episode in a Disney World. I would love to see a Deadpool Mickey Mouse like fourth world joke. That'd be great.
Other than that, it just seems like Wanda's taking like a me day. She's taking like a mom/wife's day off. She's kind of losing control because the entire house is kind of like glitching. Things are going back in time.
I like that she was still sleeping in the comic accurate suit.
Making it look good, yep.
I really like that part.
I think all of us
really like that part. I really like that part. But yeah, other than that, not a lot happening. We see the thing I liked about this is that we're now in the modern day sitcom era of WandaVision, and I really appreciated the modern family and like even the intro was very very much an homage to The Office, which is an 100%. Iconic show. You know, I was praying that Michael Scott would show up after this episode, but it didn't happen.
Even the way it was filmed is kind of like made for an
zooms.
Yeah. But it also, the way it kind of like went in and out, the way the editing of the intro, it looked like that show Happy Endings. It's on Hulu. I don't know what it aired on originally, but the only reason why I know that is because my wife Milena watches that daily. So it's the only reason why I picked that up in the intro. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
This is like their filler episode leading up to the next two, because we know that things are about to get crazy in the next two, especially the finale. And I told you before, I was like, they better extend that runtime for the finale, because I'm sick of these 20-minute episodes with 15 minutes of end credits. It's like when it says please stand by, there's still 8 minutes left on the thing, and I'm just like, how like, why is your runtime a third of the episode? Come on, man, step it up. My favorite parts of this episode was definitely Vision and Darcy Lewis, their little get together. I loved Vision's interviews. It was great.
I feel like Vision was like the equivalent of Dwight Schrute in this episode.
Yes, definitely. He definitely was. I love when he like got up and took the microphone off and like the boom mic hit him in the head and stuff. Yeah. It's just hilarious to me because it's like this episode was so meta. This show is so self-aware. It's great.
Yeah.
And this episode in particular, like some of the things they were saying and stuff was just so funny. Like even Wanda, like the one episode of The Office when the camera guy talks to Pam, and they're like under contract to not talk and stuff. The guy gets fired, and then we see even Wanda's like, oh, like. I think whoever's behind the camera with Wanda says, like, do you think this is you punishing yourself or whatever? And she's like, oh, like, you're not supposed to talk. So that was like definitely a reference to The Office. And we see later in the episode, the big reveal that Agnes is Agatha Harkness, which many people were speculating online. Especially, I don't think they really, like, the thing I don't get about it is that Marvel, they did so many like misdirects with Agnes being like this, like, was she evil? Was she good? Was she evil? Was she good? And it was pretty obvious because her name's Agnes. So it was like, Agatha. Agnes. It doesn't. That's like an Adam West Batman joke. Like, C for Catwoman.
That whole big reveal. I feel like that was really the only big thing that progressed the story, was that Agnes was Agatha Harkness. I know next to nothing about the character, to be fair. I know a lot of fans that are deep into the comics were speculating that Agnes was Agatha Harkness, and like you said, like, should have been obvious because Agatha Harkness, like it should have been a red flag. Even though we got this big reveal, I still don't think that she's the ultimate villain. I think she's kind of like a pawn in this game, because even Billy Wiccan, the son, says you're quiet on the inside. I don't know what that was about, but I still feel like that she's a pawn in this game. Maybe it's Nightmare that many are speculating, because I know he's supposed to be in Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Badness, as one of the villains, or Mephisto, as we've been trying to say that Evan Peters is Mephisto in WandaVision. Is she a pawn in that game too? Is this what we're supposed to see as an audience? You know, because there's no doubt that Agatha Harkness has magical powers. In the comics, we know that. But with the rabbit, they keep showing us this stupid bunny rabbit. Like, apparently, Senor Scratchy. Apparently, she has.
When they come out with the Funko Pop of Senor Scratchy, I'll be buying it.
But like, apparently, she has a son, Nicholas Scratch. So I've seen a couple of YouTube theories and stuff about this bunny. Will it play a bigger role? Who knows? Maybe it's like the whole like pulling the bunny out of the hat. Will that be the end reveal? I have no idea, because I don't know anything about the character, but I kind of hope that it's not the ultimate villain, because I was really hyped on Mephisto, and we know that there's a lot of rumors for that, and he could be a huge MCU villain going into this next phase.
I mean, I really liked the whole reveal at the end and how they did the whole like the witch, black and white witch, Agatha all along, little musical piece there. That was really cool. But when I saw that she was the one that like put Pietro Quicksilver at the door, and she was doing all these things, I was like, oh, come on, man. You know,
not buying.
And then I didn't even know there was a post-credit scene until I went on YouTube. And then I was like, what? And I went back and watched it and saw that Quicksilver at the end sees Monica Rambeau going snooping into the basement, which is where Wanda and Agnes left off. And I was just like, oh, thank God he's like, it's not just, you know, her doing that. Hopefully it is Mephisto. I don't even think if it is Mephisto, which I'm pretty sure it is, I don't even think Agnes is aware that that entity is there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's more to it. There's no way they brought in Evan Peters just to make him like this, like Fox Quicksilver cameo tie-in just for the sake of like fans to have fun with it. There's no way. There's no way. And I didn't know that either, that there was a end credit scene. I had to go back and check it out. And it was small, but like even in that end credit scene with the whole, it seems like Agatha Harkness, her mystical powers are like purple, right? And Monica, which we'll get into in a little bit, her eyes glow blue, but in this end credit scene, her eyes are purple. I didn't notice that at first. There's no way that he doesn't play a role in this at all. There's no way. There's no way that they would build that up. The same way, we're going to bounce around right here. The same way, there's no way that they built up this contact that Monica Rambeau was been looking for. And it's like 2 pickup trucks and 4 random strangers in the woods.
Yeah.
No way.
It's like 3 episodes we've been building up this aerospace engineer, and we're led to believe that this is her contact. We meet them in the middle of a field, and it's just some like military chick in a Ford F-150. So it's just like, come on now. I'm not buying that at all. Did they ever say she was even the aerospace engineer? Or she just...
No, because in past episodes, she says, I'm meeting my contact. She said he. So we know it's a man.
That's right. Yeah.
Again, like we don't know who it's going to be. I really hope that it's Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four. At least introduce them. Or it could be maybe in a Hank Pym tie-in, because that vehicle looked very much like an Ant-Man vehicle from what the heck was the second one called? The Quantum or whatever?
Quantum Realm, yeah.
Quantum Realm, yeah. So I'm wondering if it's a Hank Pym reference. Will he be coming in, or Nick Fury? I don't know. But anything but what they gave us has to be better, because there's no way it's just these 4 random strangers in a pickup truck in the middle of like the woods.
I'm still believing that it's Reed Richards, because like you said, she did mention that it was a man. I forgot about that. And the thing that this lieutenant or whatever gave her, she was like, oh, it's the best in space exploration or whatever. And we know that Reed Richards and the FF are like Imaginauts, like the comics books say. And they're explorers first and superheroes second, like our uncle says all the time to us. He's a big Fantastic Four guy. Shout out to Tito Jr. But we know that that can't be it. They didn't build up that, oh, I'm meeting my contact for 3 episodes just to have this happen. And it was a dud anyway. She crashes into the thing. It like becomes like this like dud. She runs in, gets full on, gets her powers. Her eyes glow blue. She sees everything on like the electromagnetic spectrum, which is sick.
That's cool. Yeah, I really liked her origin sequence, if you will. The way she was like kind of glitching, like Wreck-It Ralph almost, like the glitch girl. But
another Disney plug.
Another Disney plug, who knows? But like her name in the comics is either Captain Marvel or Spectrum. And apparently her mom, Maria Rambeau, was called Photon, it looks like on the plaque. So I'm wondering if that has to tie in, because clearly she's got her energy powers now. Her cells were rewritten. Very cool. She does a superhero landing in the show. And so we know that she's a superhero at this point. It's pretty obvious. And I like that she was able to see with those glowing blue eyes, see what was going on. So that'll be cool to delve into in the future.
I mean, she was Photon too, Monica Rambeau. She was Photon for a little bit in the comics, and she even led the Avengers for a bit. I always liked her as Captain Marvel. Like, why can't there just be two Captain Marvels, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Even when she's like going through the hex, you see bits of dialogue and from Captain Marvel. And even I think the young actress that played Monica appears when she's kind of like glitching out through the time warps. So that was pretty cool.
When she falls and does that superhero landing, when like Wanda like kicks her out, and then she's like floating and then drops her and she lands, I was like, please don't tell me that she's about to go like fist to fist with Wanda right now, because just because she walked through a hex, you know, it's like doesn't make her this all powerful being yet. Like, let's get some character development going here before we start being like, here's a new hero, here's a new hero, here's a new hero. So
yeah, I think she's definitely heroic though, even just the fact that she went through the hex without
without a suit and all that.
Without the pickup truck, whatever it was. And I think they're building to that. I think this was just like a little tease of what's to come in the next 2 episodes. I think that the whole tie-in with grief, the whole theme of the storyline seems to be that Wanda is pushing down this grief and the truth, and Monica is accepting it. She's like, she even mentioned it, I'm accepting my truth or something like that. So I think that'll be a cool showdown of Monica helping her get out of this. Maybe she does by the end of the series. Maybe she doesn't going into the Doctor Strange, Spider-Man 3. We have no clue, but all I know is that these last 2 episodes have to be longer. Every time it ends, I'm like, come on, man.
And we got to wait a whole nother week. We have to go through the grind of work and life and daily life just to wait for another week of half-an-hour television. That's just like, come on, man. We're beyond 22-minute sitcoms in this era. We need just give us the binge factor of hour-long episodes, 8 or 10 episodes. Give it to us, you know. A lot of people were saying that the plot moved as slowly as Vision and Darcy in that truck. So all those road trips. I thought that was cool how he felt there was Wanda trying to like impede his progress to getting back there and finding things out. But who's to say it wasn't Agnes, you know? What if she knows that Vision is starting to unravel a little bit?
Yeah, because Vision was onto her a few episodes back. He kept saying he didn't want to speak loud because the nosy neighbor, Agnes, would come by and he was like, and there she is. Like, so clearly she plays a role in it. But again, I really hope that she's not the ultimate villain. It will be cool to see them go toe to toe. But even with Hayward, I hope that there's something more to that, because clearly he's 100% trying to weaponize Vision. Like you had mentioned, does this tie into an Ultron Unlimited plot point down the line in the MCU? That would be awesome.
That'd be amazing, especially if they're going to be setting up like a new Avengers or a young Avengers franchise after all these stars fade out into the next phase or whatever Marvel or Disney plan is for the MCU. It's like Ultron in the comics. The beautiful thing about him is that he's a recurring villain because he can always upload himself or rebrand himself into a new weapon each time, and he like learns from his weakness and grows on that. So it's like, why can't he do it in the MCU and be a villain for the future too? Like, how great would that be if like 10 years from now we see a young Avengers film and there's Ultron?
I still love the whole commercials. I'm wondering if they'll do, now that we kind of have this big reveal, it seems like we're at the Modern Family. I think they've kind of gone through all the time periods. Will they do any more sitcoms, or will kind of want to be aware at this point under mind control? Because her eyes went purple too, so I have no idea what's going to happen next. Either way, I'm watching. Just really hope that there's more to the runtime next episode. But the Nexus depression commercial, I really like that. Again, it factors into the whole theme, it seems like, of grief, of that she's kind of like trying to suppress her depression, that she has like even from the beginning of this episode, she kind of like has no will to get going, like accepting the death of Vision again. That's why she opened up the hex a little bit more. So I'm wondering if, will she overcome this depression, this grief at all, and redeem herself as a character? Because even when she was throwing away Monica, she looked pretty pissed off, man.
again, the show is so self-aware, but like it was just like, oh, like it could cause more depression. You know? Like being like every commercial you hear now is like side effects, man, cruise, thoughts of suicide, nausea, headache, vomiting, diarrhea. So it's like that was funny. And then even when it said like, oh, like fix your world or whatever, like because the world doesn't revolve around you, or does it, or something like that. So I was like, that's great. And I'm definitely excited to see what's coming in the climax, because I do feel that Mephisto is going to be coming into play here. And I think there's going to be a lot going on in the next 2 episodes. So I'm excited for it.
I hope so. I hope they're longer. And it seems like Vision flew off. He went back to his home. So we know that Wanda definitely needs the help right now. Monica Rambeau seems to be in a pickle too. So I'm hooked, and I can't wait to see what happens in the last 2 episodes. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Twin Talk. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Comment below to join the discussion. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time.